Welcome back. Alright, here's my situation. I created this throwaway account because I'm new to seeking advice online. Here's some background. I, 32 female, am currently in a relationship with my boyfriend, 34. At least I was till last week. We've been together for 6 years and have been preparing for our wedding for the better part of last year. It's in later this year. About 3 weeks ago, we hit a rough patch in our relationship. It happened because my boyfriend had to transfer to another state for a mandatory internship. Internship lasted for 10 months, and during that time, I made a colossal mistake. There was a temp at my branch. He was married but was having problems in his marriage, much like me. We connected by sharing our miseries, but then things got out of hand, and I became completely obsessed with him. He made promises about leaving his wife. And although deep down I knew it was unlikely, I believed him. We started having sex around this time. At first it was within the workplace, in the worker quarters in the basement where his changing room was at. But then things shifted to outside work because we nearly got busted by one of the cleaning crew. We met at various places, motels, parks, back alleys, etc. All the while, in the back of my mind, I knew I should stop, but I couldn't. Then my boyfriend moved back in permanently after the internship ended, and I had to end it with the temp. His wife was pregnant at the time, so it was for the best anyway. Soon after, he was promoted to a permanent position in the company, and we kept our distance. Recently, we crossed paths again. More like he sought me out. He said he had been harboring so much guilt all these years and finally confessed to his wife about us. He said his wife has moved out and is now looking to contact my boyfriend to let him know. We got into an argument, and I'm pretty much certain everybody in the vicinity heard us and now knows about what we did. It took his wife 2 days to track my boyfriend down and let him know. Even when he confronted me, I still tried to talk my way out of it. All he wanted was the complete truth, but I only provided him with enough information to pacify him and tried to move on. I'm generally a smart person with a master's degree and a successful career, but I couldn't bring myself to talk about some of the things I had done. I was deeply ashamed and just wanted to put it all behind me. It didn't matter anyway. The wife of the guy I had my affair with had told him everything. I can't even fathom what he was thinking confessing some of the things we did. As of now, I have moved out because my boyfriend said he no longer wanted to see my face, much less breathe the same air as I do. It was extremely hurtful. I feel so utterly disheartened that things have come to this. I sunk 6 years of my life into this relationship, and all for what? I could have easily completed 2 PhDs in that time frame. And now it's all gone, completely wasted. I've reached out to my in-laws, but they still refuse to talk to me. So right now, I'm without anyone to back me up. I've been completely faithful in the almost 3-year span since my affair happened. I know it probably sounds insignificant, but it is significant to me. I stopped all contact with my exes, my ex-FWBs, and even stopped watching porn, because I was serious about making us work and taking our relationship to the next level. But all of that has been completely obliterated by my one deed. Everybody's too focused on what happened in my past, while completely ignoring the wonderful, smart, accomplished human being in front of them. I love him so much, and I want to ease his pain. I know I'm the cause of it, and I want to spend the rest of my life showing him how amazing our life together can be. I wish he could see me for who I truly am. Do you have any advice? How can I help him to take that leap of faith and convince him I'm trustworthy and have truly changed? How do I get him to at least talk to me? Thank you in advance for your help. Comments. If this is his reaction, honestly, you're just better off, OP. It must have been shocking when he first got the news. Understandably, emotions were running high when he first confronted you. But it's been some time now. Long enough for him to cool down and have a mature conversation with you like an adult. Instead, he's off hiding in mommy's basement like a child. You really should not have done what you did, but I kind of do understand. If your relationship was strained at that point. I've been through something similar, and while I never cheated, I became dangerously close to it. I'm a hypersexual person and I couldn't deal with my partner's distance. But I've moved on and forgave myself. Perhaps you can do the same. While it's understandable that you may receive criticism for your actions, it's important to distinguish between harsh comments and outright abuse. None of the individuals here have been personally victimized by you, so there's no justification for them to suggest that you should harm yourself or label you as a bad person. On the other hand, your ex-partner may have valid reasons to express their feelings and use strong language. I've been in a similar situation before, and I understand that there may be no way to undo what has happened. It's essential to manage your expectations and be prepared for the possibility that you may have permanently lost the most significant person in your life. Story 2. I met this guy in college. When we first met, we just hooked up with no strings attached. We honestly barely had a friendship at first. It was just sex. After a while, we ended up hanging out a little bit at a time, and we realized we really liked each other. We played around with the idea of dating for a few months, but never did, because we both wanted to be free while we were in college. Maybe a year after we met and had been hooking up and had started our friendship, he asked me out. I was way into this guy. So even though I was loving the hookup culture in school, I decided to date him. Well, a few months in, I cheated. I don't even remember the guy's name. It was a random one-night stand with some dude I met at a bar. Immediately after we started having sex, like the second he was inside me, I felt regret. This was absolutely not worth it. At the time, I knew nothing of consent, and felt it was my obligation to finish having sex with him. I did, and the next day, I told my boyfriend. I'll never forget the look of disappointment and hurt on his face. He broke up with me that day, and it took me years to get over this guy. For years, I built him up in my head. I saw him as perfect. I realized now this was unhealthy, and with therapy, I was able to finally get past it. Now I'm 30 years old and had moved on with life, as I'm sure he did as well. Then out of the blue, I ran into him at a Barnes & Noble's yesterday. As soon as I saw him, I felt beside myself. I went and said hello, and we ended up spending the rest of the day together catching up. We even went out to dinner together last night. The whole day, I was looking for reasons to tell myself that he wasn't as good as I remembered him being. I was searching for any deal breaker or flaw in him, and I couldn't find one. We exchanged numbers, and I'm dying to call him and ask him out, but at the same time, I feel scared of what he might say. I was young and stupid and didn't know what I had in front of me. Cheating on him was a huge mistake, and I wish I could take it back. For his sake, I hope he won't take you back, but it seems unlikely because he still seems interested for reasons unfathomable. I just hope you won't make the same mistake again. You get one chance at redemption, one chance only. Comments. Congrats, OP, you might get a second chance. If I can help, if it comes up, never try to justify what you did in the past. Example. I felt regret instantly, so it's not like I wanted to have sex with him or anything. Just tell him you've grown up a lot and you're a healthier person emotionally. From someone who's been screwed over, no amount of apologizing or justifying takes it away. Only reassurance that you're a different person who has grown into the best version of themselves, and prove it with your actions. One thing that's often ignored in life is that there are consequences for our decisions. That we can't have our cake and eat it too. That we need to be careful with the hearts of those we love. Maybe, though, lessons were learned. Maybe you can honor him. Maybe you should call. Accept, however, that the past may be too much for him to ever forgive. But give him the chance to make that decision instead of assuming it for him. There may be some rose-tinted glasses going on. You were in a place back then where you chose cheat. Perhaps you honestly didn't want to be in a committed relationship or didn't know truly that you did until you stepped outside it. We grow up. The hardest thing in a relationship is learning to communicate the hard things. You've been through a hard thing with this person, and as long as you're honest with each other, it can run its course. The universe throws things at us that we don't understand at the time. You've regretted and wondered long enough. Put yourself out there. The worst you'll get is closure.